Afternoon, people for pets. It's just your madman. I'm catching up on a few videos on YouTube, and the main thing that keeps coming up on my, what they call the algorithm, or whatever. Sorry, I hope everyone's alright, by the way. But what's coming up on my algorithm is Gary Neville and a few of the Labour Party MPs talking absolute looks about people flying the flag. We've been people that fly the flag, the Union flag, St George's Cross, the Saltire, the Welsh Dragon, the Red Hand of Ireland, the tricolour of the Republic of Ireland. People that fly them have been demeaned to anything from, I'm trying to think, I can't remember his name, Jeremy something called as nonsense. That Shabima Mahmood, or whatever her name is, called us Packy Bashers. She actually said that at the Labour conference. David Lammy, I can't understand a word he says. He doesn't seem to talk about things that he's been interviewed about, but he's slagged us off. Keir Starmer's turned around and said that anybody that's flying the flag is a racist, right-wing, nationalist thug, or worse that explained. And Gary Neville. Why? I was having this conversation yesterday with a few people. There is nothing racist about flying the flag. And I said the other day, the more that the Labour Party state that the people that fly the flag is racist or are racist, the more that label's going to be attached to it. But then they turned around and said they want the flag. What do they want the flag for? They don't care about the United Kingdom. The Labour Party cares nothing for Great Britain. This is beyond a joke. And the latest, like I say, the latest in a lot... I'm surprised I haven't heard from Gary Lineker, to be honest, on this thing at the minute. But Gary Neville is going on about how he took a flag down from one of his building sites because they raised the flag. He's a total tosspot. An absolute arsehole waste of a human being. Somebody else, not me, I can't remember who it was, but somebody else allegedly said he's thicker than whale spunk. Now, I don't know how thick whale spunk is. I know how bad shit is when you go bad shit crazy. It's pretty decent. But I don't know what as thick as whale spunk is. And to be honest, right now I don't really want to Google it. Although I might have to just to make a comparison between that and Gary Neville. But it also looks like he's lost one of his presenting jobs because of it. Which is rich from the BBC. If they take him off for saying something. I mean, how much bullshit do they talk? How much bullshit and lies do they spew? I think this goes back to my video the other day when I was in a down place. I think the world's fucked. It's mad. You know, you had the attack at the synagogue on Thursday morning of last week, that killed 2 people. Yes, one was allegedly hit by what they was called friendly fire by a copper, right? However, he was doing his job and he had to shoot at the cretin that had drove a car into people, was trying to break in and stab people up. And then the same night, you had people calling out for Intifada. And today is obviously the 2nd anniversary of the terrorist attack by Hamas on Israel. Now, regardless of what you think about how that's gone and what Israel have done, the initial strike was Hamas from Palestine, killing 1,300, I think, and taking, was it 400 to 500 hostages? They attacked a rave festival. So regardless of what Israel have done afterwards, and don't get me wrong, I believe Israel have overstepped the mark, and I've said this on many videos. I think they've gone beyond their duty of redemption, and even to the point now where they're trying to work with the US and Tony fucking Blair for some obscure reason to try and get control of Gaza in itself and Palestine in itself, right? I believe they've overstepped the mark. Some of the things they've done when they've sent people to the south and then bombed the south, sent people to the hospitals and then bombed the hospitals. But the original terror attack was Hamas. Now, you can go back to 1948, if you know your history. You can go back as far as you want, 70 odd years ago. Probably 80 odd years ago now. You can go back and you can figure out who's right and who's wrong and where it all come from, and you can look at the Bible, look at the Quran, look at the Judaism belief and all the things that go with it. Look at who had what land, whatever. October the 7th, 2023 was Hamas, based in Palestine, attacking innocent people, not just Jews. There was Europeans there at a festival, at a rave. But what Israel have done afterwards has, in my opinion, my personal opinion, overstepped the mark. I do believe they have attempted a genocide. They was right to defend themselves, and they've been right to go in after the hostages, but to move people from the north to the south, and then from the south to the north, and each time they move them, bomb that area they've got into, to how many accidents, how many accidental bombings and attacks have there been on hospital transport, or aid transport, or hospitals? How many times they've said we've hit an hospital because we believe there's Hamas fighters underground? There's got to be better ways of doing it. That's not the point. And I've totally digressed from where I started with this. I'll go back to the point that Gary Neville is a wanker. An absolute tosspot. I'm just waiting for his bum boy Gary Lineker to come out and say something similar. That it is middle-aged white men that are causing the atrocities. Not that it was a middle-aged white man that killed 2 people and injured, I think, 7 or so at the synagogue in Manchester. And also, if you look at the mosque attack that happened yesterday or the day before, if you look into some videos, that wasn't what it said it was. That was a stooge. And the problem with this war in Israel and Gaza, between the Israelis and the Palestinians, there's been a lot of stooges. A lot of people have come in with an agenda to make things fit a narrative. And we in the West are being led by a bunch of money-hungry national traitors who only want to do right for themselves. And we, the people, no matter how much we protest, we, the people, will never win, whilst there's certain people in charge and there's certain people doing things a certain way. Believe what you want to believe, see what you want to see, hear what you want to hear, and say what you want to say. Take care, look after your friends, your family, your elders, your neighbours, your relatives. Look after the people around your table, look after the people you talk to near and far. Most importantly, look after yourself. Stay safe, stay proud, stay loud. Peace.